Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into a crucial topic. 7 things men say that are huge red flags. Let's face it, dating can feel like navigating a minefield sometimes. You're trying to stay open, put yourself out there, but you also have to protect your heart. That's why it's so important to recognize the warning signs early on. These red flags aren't about judging anyone. They're about empowering you to make smart choices and avoid potential heartache. So let's decode these common phrases men use that might be hinting at deeper issues. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't it good for a man to be looking for a woman who brings something to the table? It seems like a reasonable question, right? After all, relationships are partnerships and both parties should contribute to make it work. And you're right, it's absolutely normal for someone to be attracted to a partner who adds value to their life. We all want to be with someone who complements us, who makes us better, and who brings joy and support into our lives. But here's the catch. This seemingly innocent question often masks a transactional view of relationships, particularly when it comes to how men view women. It can be a subtle way of saying, "What can you do for me?" rather than "How can we grow together?" It reduces the complex tapestry of a woman's worth to a checklist of qualities he deems valuable. This approach overlooks the emotional, intellectual, and spiritual dimensions that make a relationship truly fulfilling. Think about it. Have you ever heard a woman ask a man, "What do you bring to the table?" Probably not. This isn't because women don't care about what men offer, but because the question itself is inherently limiting. It frames the relationship in terms of transactions rather than connections. And it's not because women don't value what men bring to the table, it's because we understand that a relationship is about more than just a list of assets. It's about shared experiences, mutual growth, and building a life together. This question can also reveal a sense of entitlement. It implies that the man sees himself as the prize, and you need to prove your worthiness to be with him. This dynamic can create an unhealthy power imbalance. It suggests that he sees himself as the prize, and you need to prove your worthiness to be with him. This mindset can lead to a relationship where one person is constantly trying to measure up, rather than both partners feeling valued and appreciated. So how do you respond if a man hits you with this? First, don't get defensive, instead flip the script. Use it as an opportunity to set the tone for a more meaningful conversation. You can say something like, "That's an interesting question. I believe in mutual respect and building something meaningful together." This response not only deflects the pressure but also opens the door to discuss what truly matters in a relationship. What are you looking to contribute to a relationship? This question shifts the focus from a one-sided interrogation to a conversation about shared values and expectations. It encourages both partners to think about what they can offer and what they need. This shifts the focus from a one-sided interrogation to a conversation about shared values and expectations. It turns the question into a dialogue, fostering a sense of partnership and mutual respect. Remember, a relationship is a two-way street, and both partners should bring their unique strengths and qualities to the table. It's about building something together, not just ticking off boxes on a checklist. This one is tricky because it can be completely innocent. Sometimes people meet right after a breakup, and that's just the way life goes. However, this phrase can also be a major red flag, signaling that he might not be emotionally available for a healthy relationship. When you hear this, pay close attention to his energy. Does he seem genuinely open to moving on? Or is there a lingering sadness, bitterness, or baggage? If he's still hung up on his ex, you risk becoming a rebound, a temporary fix for his broken heart. Don't be afraid to ask follow-up questions. How long ago was the breakup? How is he doing with the healing process? Is he still in contact with his ex? His answers will give you valuable insights into his emotional state. Remember, you deserve to be with someone who is fully present and ready to invest in a new relationship, not someone who is still emotionally entangled with their past. Now, I'm all for spontaneity and going with the flow to a certain extent, but when it comes to relationships, a lack of clear intentions can be a major red flag. It's important to understand that while spontaneity can add excitement, it shouldn't come at the cost of clarity and mutual understanding. "Let's just go with the flow" often translates to, "I don't want to define the relationship," or "I'm not ready to commit." This phrase can be a way to avoid deeper conversations about the future and what each person truly wants. While it might seem casual and easygoing on the surface, it can leave you feeling confused and insecure about where you stand. The uncertainty can create a sense of instability. making it hard to feel secure in the relationship. Here's the thing. A man who is genuinely interested in you and sees a future with you will be clear about his intentions. He will make an effort to communicate his feelings and plans, ensuring that you are both on the same page. He won't shy away from having the "what are we" conversation because he wants you to know that he's serious about you. This conversation is crucial as it sets the foundation for a committed and understanding relationship. If you're hearing "let's just go with the flow" too often, it's time to have an honest conversation about what you both want. It's essential to address your concerns and express your needs clearly. Don't be afraid to express your desire for something more defined. Being upfront about your expectations can prevent misunderstandings and ensure that both partners are aligned in their goals. If he's not on the same page, it's better to know sooner rather than later so you can move on to someone who is ready to build a future with you. Remember, clarity and mutual understanding are key to a healthy and fulfilling relationship. Chapter 4. My ex was crazy. The danger of dismissive labels. Let's be real, we've all probably heard this one before. It's a phrase that gets thrown around so casually, almost as if it's a part of everyday conversation. It's almost a cliché at this point, but have you ever stopped to think about what it really means when someone says this? And while it might seem like harmless venting, the way a man talks about his ex can reveal a lot about his character and how he handles conflict. It's not just about the words he uses, but the underlying attitude and mindset. When a man constantly refers to his ex as crazy, it's a major red flag for several reasons. It's not just a throwaway comment, it's a window into his psyche. First, it shows a lack of respect for the person he once cared about. Respect is fundamental in any relationship, and its absence speaks volumes. Even if the relationship didn't end well, there's no need to resort to name-calling or derogatory labels. Mature individuals handle breakups with grace and dignity. Second, it raises serious questions about his ability to take responsibility for his own actions. Relationships are a two-way street and accountability is key. By painting his ex as the sole problem, he avoids looking at his own role in the relationship's demise. This kind of deflection is a sign of emotional immaturity. And finally, it could be a tactic to manipulate your perception of him. He might be trying to gain your sympathy by playing the victim, but don't be fooled. This is a common manipulation technique. He might be trying to gain your sympathy by playing the victim, but don't be fooled. If he's quick to badmouth his ex, what's stopping him from doing the same to you in the future? If you hear him badmouthing his ex, don't be afraid to dig a little deeper. Ask questions and seek clarity. Ask him about his role in the relationship and how he handled disagreements. This will give you insight into his conflict resolution skills. Pay attention to whether he takes ownership of his mistakes or deflects blame. This can be a crucial indicator of his emotional maturity and readiness for a healthy relationship. Chapter 5. I don't really know what I'm doing with my life right now. The importance of a solid foundation. Now, there's a big difference between being open to new possibilities and having zero direction in life. While it's perfectly fine for a man to be figuring things out, a complete lack of ambition or drive can be a red flag, especially if you're someone who is goal-oriented and driven. Think about it. A relationship requires effort and commitment. It's hard to build a stable and fulfilling partnership with someone who is constantly drifting through life without a rudder. This doesn't mean he needs to have it all figured out, but he should at least have some sense of purpose, some goals he's working towards. This shows that he's invested in personal growth and has the potential to be a supportive and equal partner. If you're dating a man who seems lost, encourage him to explore his passions and pursue his interests. But also be honest with yourself about your own needs and whether his lack of direction aligns with your long-term goals. Chapter 6. I'm really focused on my career right now. Ambition versus availability. We love an ambitious man. It's incredibly attractive to be with someone who is driven and passionate about their work. However, this phrase can sometimes be a subtle way of saying, I'm not ready to prioritize a relationship right now. Of course, there's nothing wrong with prioritizing your career, especially in the early stages of building a life you love. But relationships require time, effort, and emotional investment. If he's constantly using work as an excuse to reschedule dates, postpone plans, or avoid deeper emotional intimacy, it might be a sign that he's not truly available for a meaningful relationship. Pay attention to his actions. Does he make an effort to carve out time for you, even if it's just for a quick coffee or a phone call? Does he seem genuinely interested in getting to know you on a deeper level, or are his responses surface level and distracted? Remember, You deserve someone who is willing to make you a priority in their life, not just an afterthought. Chapter 7. Marriage is just a waste of time, when values don't align. This one is a biggie, especially if marriage is something you envision for yourself in the future. Now, not everyone wants to get married, and that's perfectly okay. But if a man outright dismisses the institution of marriage as a waste of time, it's essential to understand why he feels that way. Is it because he's been burned before? Does he have deep-seated commitment issues? Or does he simply not believe in the concept of lifelong partnership? Whatever the reason, it's crucial that your values align when it comes to relationships. If you're looking for a committed, long-term partnership that could lead to marriage, and he's fundamentally opposed to the idea, it's unlikely that you'll be able to build a future together. Don't try to change his mind or convince him otherwise. You can't force someone to see the value in something they don't believe in. You deserve more. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Remember, dating is about finding someone who not only complements your life but also shares your values and desires. Don't settle for anything less than a love that uplifts, inspires, and empowers you. Check out our other videos for more tips and advice on navigating the world of dating and relationships. See you next time.